All right, let's get into it.
Well, it's Friday.
Well, Friday again. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast. We're just hammering you guys with guests lately. The last one we kicked out, we had Ethan on.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a great one.
But technically, we had Mikey.
I was going to say Mikey was on
Yeah.
too.
Technically, I was on that show.
But we're bringing Mikey back. And I know we've had him on here in the past as well.
This is my third trip to the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast.
It is.
to this side of the
Yeah, to that side of the table.
Yeah,
table?
yeah.
It's
It's weird.
yeah.
I feel like a guest.
Yeah. Well, you're about to get the shit interviewed out of you.
Shit,
buddy.
yeah. Let's go.
No, we're kind of, I know in the past we've talked about it a little bit, just comedy in general. And I know we've talked with Mikey about doing comedy in the past. So now we're going to kind of go down a rabbit hole.
Well, yeah. Let's 30 seconds, no more than that. Like, who are you?
My name is Mikey Fahey. I'm a retired United States Marine. I'm a stand-up comic and podcast host. And I hang out with D-gens like this, like these guys. Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
So Mikey, 15 years ago, did you ever think that you were going to title yourself as podcast host?
No.
Well, 15 years
I
ago.
mean, 50, imagine that.
I'm not sure we knew what a podcast. I would have.
But imagine-
I would have looked at you, stupid.
Like 15 years ago, you're like, I'm going to be a podcast host.
Like-
I would have like
10
bro.
years ago, I had or 10 or 11 years ago, I had a podcast. Like, because I used to have the American Hooligan podcast, right?
Yeah.
Which was nowhere near as fancy as our productions go, right? Because it was just me in my man cave. Like, I had like a podcast studio set up on a TV tray, that I would pull in front of my recliner, and I would just talk. There was no cameras, there was no nothing. It was just me mostly bitching about the government and fucking idiots on the road and things like that.
So nothing's changed. You just have friends that do it with you now.
I just and we have grown up money now, so we can afford like cameras and shit.
So you were kind of like the OG Alex Jones.
That's just, not quite as I didn't lean into school shootings as hard, but yeah, it was there.
But he is also kind of retarded.
Yeah. That's the background on my iPad, actually, is him doing that. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's crazy where it's came, right? Like where podcasting has come and where and how, in terms of comedians, how comedy and podcasting have really became so hand in hand. I make the joke all the time that I did comedy in reverse because I already had a podcast.
Right.
And then I started doing comedy to start doing stand-up, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, that's really funny because every one of them is like, I think I'm going to start a podcast. And they're like, what do you think? And I'm like, don't. Don't fucking do it, dude. Like, just don't. Just come on other shows.
Yeah, as a comedian, I think it would make more sense to just do a podcast tour of every show you can get on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like getting booked for a show.
Right.
Like I took this, like you guys booked me, like Justin asked me if I could come in today. I took this as I'm booked.
Right.
Like this is a comedy booking. You know what I mean? The same kind of mentality, right? Like,
Okay.
Because it really is about schedule, you know, and maintaining that. And it's important.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how you got into comedy. Like, where did that begin?
If we want to go like Freudian, way back in the day, I was raised by three women. I was raised by my mom, my aunt, and my grandma. And they were all fucking batshit, right? In the best way imaginable, right? Like my mom was hilarious in a very dry sense of humor way. My grandma was like old school, fucking abrupt and mean, kind of humor. And then my aunt was just goofy and silly and fun, right? And like so I got like those three influences, and because of that, we had like comedy records and stuff around the house. Yes, records. That's how old I am. You know. Okay, you don't know.
They look like Frisbees for the people out there.
Yeah, it's like a little tiny Blu-ray. It's like a big black Blu-ray.
I was about to say, so kind of like a CD but bigger.
Yeah. But I had like George Carlin record. I had Richard Pryor records. I had Ray Stevens, who was a singing comedian from back in the day.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I loved, and I had like the tapes of his and stuff, and all that. Like, and I would listen to the shit incessantly, And my family would be like, "Fuck is wrong with this kid?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just like, "Holy!" And I never take shit serious. You guys know that. You know, I'm always trying to find a joke in something,
Right.
because honestly, it's a coping mechanism. Really, what it is. It's all the trauma throughout life. You know, it's better to do it with a smile, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
so that's really where it all started for me. If I wanted to go Freudian, as far as actually fucking getting off my ass and doing it, I owe a lot of that to you guys. I owe a lot of that to our show, to Freedom Friends.
Yeah.
We had Justin Governale on our show about 2.5 years ago. And I told him, I was like, "Hey man," I was like, "I've been writing comedy bits for like 10 years and I just have a phone full of them." And he's like, "So go do them." And I was like, "I don't know." Da, da, da. And he's like, "Don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Go do them." So really, I credit Justin Governale, nice. Of Kill Tony fame, of Naked and Afraid,
of the most recent San
of
Antonio,
most recent the San Antonio No Kings Parade. Go to his comedy show on the 15th or whatever. Yeah, like I credit a lot of that to him, and he's been a real good partner of mine in this, as far as like, as like someone to like, bounce ideas off of, and so is a lot of other comics. Like I've met we have a great scene here in San Antonio, real tight knit guys that are pretty cool, and yeah, so like it's real good community almost.
Yeah.
It's nice.
What the fuck was that? What was that?
Have you seen these new adult snaps? They're awesome. Want to see what else I got?
So from now until July 4th, every order of cigars, we'll throw in a free victory cigar.
So remember, the best way to light your fireworks this year is with a free victory cigar.
No code needed. All you have to do is order cigars, and we'll automatically throw a victory cigar in your order when we fulfill it. Just remember, 1 victory cigar per order.
So celebrate the birth of America with America's favorite cigar.
Don't forget to celebrate recklessly.
So you started about what, 2.5?
Stand up, I would say. So when people ask me how long I've been doing comedy, I usually tell them 10 years. And I say that because before, when I worked at Ground Style, I was doing sketches and fucking stuff like that. And I was, writing for that. I was doing comedy writing. I was Vet TV and that thing and all that. Like I did all that stuff. And then also our show. Yeah. Our show, I'm kind of the comic relief in our show. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
the reason that
I never tried
the reason that nobody can take that show serious is you.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100. Yeah, totally. And so when I tell people that, so stand up, about 3 years, comedy in general, I say 10. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
When was your first paid stand-up gig? Like how long ago? Or has it not happened?
So this was, you want to talk about a confidence boost, all right? The very first time I went up at Upstage Comedy Lounge here in San Antonio, did my open mic night, did a 5-minute set that I'd written and just did it. There was a guy in the crowd named Jeremy Johnson. He's a comedian. It's based out of Austin now. And he was like, "Hey man, I want you on my show next week." And I got booked the very first night.
Holy fuck.
And like every comedian I've talked to, they're like, "That's fucking unheard of, man." Like that doesn't happen. So like, and it just fucking started from there. And then I just started boom, 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 boom. And granted, I think I got paid $10.
Yeah.
Hey,
but it was
getting paid is getting paid.
It was $10 for 5 minutes of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, and then I started doing bigger shows, and like Thirsty Horse would get me. And because I'm friends with those guys, I'll be like, "Hey man, like I'll do two 15-minute sets."
Essentially, your first paid gig was $200 an hour.
Essentially. If you were to break it down per capita, sure. Yeah, dude, yeah.
I mean, it just so happens you only worked 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But
I clocked in for 5 minutes of that $200 an hour. Fucking, yeah.
Well, I remember we've talked, and you're like, "Shit, I don't mind doing a show if somebody pays my travel and my stay." you know, because you were doing something else. You were going out for a wedding,
Yeah.
out east or something, and they paid you enough to cover your trip almost, and you're like,
Yeah. And that was fine because I was already going there.
yeah,
Right. Like, there's a club in Jacksonville, North Carolina that reached out to me recently. I'm negotiating a contract with them right now.
Okay.
They want me to come out and do a few shows. And, you know, it's weird because like now people are asking me like, hey, do you want the bar? Do you want concessions? What percentages?
right.
You know, there's like, what part of the door do you get? Like, they're like, we need your rider. You know, and I want to be fucking silly about it. I'd be like, I want a bottle of Jameson and green M&Ms or something gay in the fucking green room. You know, like something real weird. Like, you know, like I need 3 chicks and boas just to stand there and make me feel awkward. Don't kink shame me. I don't know. Like, you know, it's super weird, but I'm still so very young in this industry.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still real young. I'm still just learning and getting my chops and, you know, because it takes time. Everybody thinks they could be a comedian until it's time to go up there and talk for 10 minutes.
So
it's like,
what was the hardest thing for you to learn so far?
Humility.
Yeah.
Yeah. Standing in front of people and talking, that's never been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we have a podcast. We have, you know, I've been in front of cameras. I've been an actor. I've been a director. I've done all this shit.
You were in the military.
And most importantly, I'm a Marine. I was a platoon sergeant for as long as I could fucking remember.
Yeah.
You know, and I've talked in front of hundreds and hundreds of people for years.
Being in the military, you know, you don't know that it's a skill, I guess, until something like this, but you're able to be talked down to, and you're taught how to like,
you're taught resilience.
It's normalized, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's like, oh, he thinks I'm retarded. This is normal.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll play his game.
That probably, and honestly, that probably does help a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you lose an audience, you're just like, you know, like,
yeah.
at least they're not yelling at me. You know,
that's the thing. A lot of young comics deal with is they don't know how to accept bombs.
It's you know? Funny.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple of years and I'll see the reactions of like their reactions to the crowd, either not reacting or reacting a little negative.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, well, I guess that was funny, you know, or something, you know.
But you guys are like, all right, fuck you. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. like, and I've called an audience out before. I did a joke. I have a joke. It's so funny, man. It's a joke about fupas. And it does not land in San Antonio, which you would think of all places, it would land very well in San Antonio.
They take it personally.
Dude, I even translate it. I even be like, it's called a panza. You know what I mean? Like I even try. But like for whatever reason, this community here, I blame the school system. They're so fucking dumb that they don't understand the joke. But I've told that joke in Boston, it killed. In Philly, San Antonio, all right, and it killed. You know what I mean? San Diego, it killed. Like, you know, and it's like, all right, it's not me, it's San Diego or it's San Antonio. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. So it's really weird how you have to tailor your set, not just for the crowd, but for the community that's around you.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of them, you know, that's not what's cool in their world, right? Like that's not what they're talking about.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting, and you read those wrong all the time too.
Oh, do you see a lot of? I don't know if you've ever paid attention, but like a comic who maybe grew up and has never left San Antonio versus somebody who's like well traveled. I would assume like the well traveled people, their comedy would be a little bit better.
You can absolutely tell who it's more about comfort on stage.
Yeah.
You know, like you can see guys, and there are some local guys who have never left the area who are fucking hilarious. Yeah. They're so good, and their timing's great. Problem is, they do the same 5 shows every week here in San Antonio, Austin corridor, and they don't get booked because they don't try.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And if they did try, they would. You know, and then there's also guys who fucking started yesterday.
Yeah,
who came out swinging and are just and I'm like, dude, this kid's a fucking monster. This kid's a murderer. Look at him. You know, it's so impressive to see. I have a buddy of mine. I'll shout him out. Nick Martin is his name. This kid is so fucking funny. And part of what makes him so funny, he's been in comedy maybe a year now.
Yeah.
And part of what makes him so funny is that he doesn't know he's funny. So like his reactions are so awkward. It becomes part of the bit.
Yeah.
And it makes it fucking hilarious, and it's so impressive to watch. And he doesn't get it, and that's what's funny about it. It's like he doesn't understand. That's why he's funny, and it's like, no, bro, you're a fucking murderer. Like you're going places. Like you can tell. Some guys, it's like that dude's gonna be a fucking star.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a few of them, and then there's a lot of them, guys like me, who are just hanging on. Maybe we'll make it. You know, they say you either make it at 20 or you make it at 40.
Years?
Yeah.
In years doing it?
No. They say you're either 20 years old when you make it or 40 when you make it. It's like there's very little in between.
Yeah.
That kind of tracks with just how life works, right?
For sure.
Like before 20, you're
Well, in between 20 and 40, you're actually like working.
yeah, you should be.
So like you try it at 20, like, oh fuck, this didn't work. So then you work.
Right.
And then 20 years later, you're like, oh fuck, maybe I should try this again.
Right.
So that's the 20 and 40.
That could be the case. That could totally be the case. Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. I don't know, man. Ralphie May's got a great like masterclass on YouTube. It's like a 2-hour long, like fucking where he just sat down and just talked to a crowd full of comics and just kind of gave them advice.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking masterclass, man. Like, you know, it's real weird shit that people don't realize. You know,
What was a piece of advice would be like to eat everything and become really fat.
You know what's funny?
That's always funny.
Well, everybody laughs when fatty falls down.
Yeah.
That's a Chris Farley quote. but it's funny. Like one of Ralphie May's things is you should shave your beard, shave your face, because your beard hides facial expression.
Yeah.
And to which I would counter that argument against Ralphie, R.I.P. buddy. But which chin of yours was talking to me when you said that? Because I can't see your facial expressions either, bitch.
Not only that, but I don't think he was capable of growing facial hair.
Maybe not. He probably grew a mean neck beard.
Maybe
He looked like a neck beard kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like, but it would like poke straight out.
No, I picture him with like 15 hairs, and that's it.
Maybe.
Just,
Maybe. Funny guy though.
yeah.
And knew what the fuck he was doing, man. It's funny. I never really appreciated him when he was alive, and then after he died, and when I started paying attention, I was like, okay, I see what this guy was a genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this guy really did have it.
Right.
It's pretty cool. So I don't know.
What's the weirdest thing you learned since you got into comedy, doing stand up?
Pants.
Pants?
I have to wear pants. You
Why?
can't wear shorts.
Why?
I don't know. I think whatever comedian came up with this when they wrote these rules, they didn't live in San Antonio. That's for damn sure.
Are they like written rules, or are they just like
It's kind of like unwritten, but people will be like there's certain things like you don't touch the mic for your first fucking year. Like the mic stays in the mic stand.
These sound like Bill Cosby rules. And let's be honest. Fuck Bill Cosby.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's shit like that where it's like it's the old school way of doing things, and none of us really adhere to those anymore. You know, like, for whatever reason though, the pants thing, people are fucking weird. Like you will, if you show up to it, even doing like an open mic, wearing a pair of shorts, there's people there who are going to book you, but they want to see you show up professional every fucking time. So what I did a very militaristic thing. I made a uniform. So I wear a black shirt, a black t-shirt, and a fucking pair of fucking like tack pants almost. Like
Trying to talk him into breakaway tack pants.
I want a pair. I do want a pair for like a finale bit. It'd be great. Wee.
but they break away into shorts.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
What do you think we were talking about?
Like the true breakaway.
I already got a pair of those.
Because then you have to wear shorts under them.
Yeah. But
That's what I meant though.
Oh,
Wear
I meant
shorts
just the
under.
ones where just the below your
No,
knees.
just so you can rip them off me wearing shorts.
Is the pants thing, is it the comics that are making that rule, or is it the venues that are like, nah, you got to have pants to get up?
I honestly, I don't know.
Huh.
I honestly don't know where it originated from. But when I did that first set, I wore cargo shorts because, as you guys know, and as all of you guys know, that I'm a cargo short aficionado. You know, dude, fucking stop calling me. Jesus, fucking people, take the hint. Like, God, well, fucking Jared. I sent my video because I had a friend record it, and I sent it to a buddy of mine who works at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. Ron Ripley used to be at Vet TV and all that. Like, I sent it to him, and I was like, "Give me some notes." And he's like, "You want the honest notes?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "First things first, put fucking pants on." It's like the first thing he said, and I was like, why? And he goes, we're not here to see your fucking knees. They're here to listen to your jokes. You don't want anything to distract anything.
Don't look at my knees. To me, that is so weird.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me either. But I was like, all right. But then when I saw it and I see it out there, every time I see a comedian wearing shorts, somebody mentions it. It's always there. Somebody like, why are you wearing fucking shorts?
I guess it'd be.
Why are you not taking this serious?
Let's put it
Type of thing.
in a context where isn't there a military that are authorized shorts, like the British military? Australia.
I believe Australia.
And every time I see a military uniform that involves shorts,
you know what?
I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, that's a great point,
Right.
Scott.
It looks really weird.
It looks
That's a
really
great
weird.
It looks very weird. So I just took like jarhead mentality and was like, fine, I'll just have a uniform. And that way I'm always consistent.
I wonder if it's
Yeah.
Could you wear a skirt?
So here's the fucked up thing. The rules don't apply to ladies.
I'm not talking about ladies. I'm saying, could you wear a skirt?
Probably could.
Last year.
Yeah, last year I probably could have got away with it.
When it was 2024, but it's 2025.
But and that's why I asked. Like,
Yeah. So that brings up something though. Like, women don't have these same rules. Women can wear whatever the fuck they want.
yeah.
Nobody ever says shit to them.
Well, it's because the guys aren't going to the show for the comedy.
You're fucking not wrong, dude. You're not wrong.
It sucks to say it, but it's fucking true.
It is true.
I'm going to disagree a little bit.
There's 5 topics that women comics fucking beat the shit out of.
Okay.
And it's my period,
Yep.
kids,
Men.
fucking, and then shit that we don't give a fuck about. All right. Like, it's always the same topics. And there's only so many jokes. No, I'm not saying that there's no funny females.
There's some that are absolutely hilarious.
Sure. You got great ones and they're famous. And they're famous for that reason.
Yep.
You know? But yeah, there's a lot of open micers that are,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the end of their bit is their link tree.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes, and not all of them. Like I have a friend of mine here locally, this chick named Nina. She's fucking as skinny as Justin. She's a little lesbian chick that I know. She's funny as fuck, and she's just like she doesn't do the regular bullshit bits that they do, and that's why I like her comedy, right? Like, because it's original.
Right.
Everything else, it's none of it's original. It's like, dude, I already saw Ali Wong do that joke.
But
I already saw fucking
No,
Christina Mariani do that joke.
guys are the same way though.
Oh,
Like
joke-
if you go to an open mic, like
every one of them is dating. They're on the apps. Everybody has a Tinder fucking
Yeah,
fucking
like
joke. I know.
I almost want to just go down the list of like the 10 jokes that they all make.
Sure.
And it's all the same. Some of them almost verbatim.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I know that you put time and effort into coming up with your set. Like, I get it. Right.
Yeah.
But if it's that close to somebody else's, maybe you should rethink your creativity strategies that you use.
I have a friend of mine who's a one-liner comic. He does a lot of one-liner stuff. It's just like set up, punch, set up, punch, set up, punch. And it's real like Mitch Hedberg-esque, like, and if you're listening to this, you don't know who Mitch Hedberg is, get your fucking life right. All right. But like an escalator can never break. It can only become stairs. That's one of his jokes, right? Like, it's just, but the way he delivered it was all like that. And I have a buddy of mine who does very, very similar style. And people are often like, that's a Mitch Hedberg fucking routine. And it's like, well, it's his. No,
Yeah.
he's not doing his jokes.
Yeah.
And then there's only so many premises in the world.
Yeah.
There's only so many jokes I could make about this lighter.
Yep.
And if I gave you this lighter, said make some jokes, you and I are going to have some similar jokes.
We are.
Because the same premise. And that's the same thing that happens with comedians, I think. The challenge is, and where it comes down to being a legit comedian, is find the uniqueness of that topic.
Yep.
And make it yours.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, and it's not easy. It's not easy. It's way fucking harder than I thought it was going to be, man.
Right.
That's for damn sure. But yeah. This thing's all fucking short, jazz. It's fucking little ass.
I have a question if I could pop one out real quick.
What you got, dog?
So obviously nowadays comedy is huge, massive. But with that, there's a lot of guys that, while they're huge, have the podcast and kind of give a look behind the scenes. Do you think that's helped you so far in your stand-up career, or maybe hindered you because there's not as much of like an allure behind the scenes? You only get to know this if you're in the game type deal.
No, I think it's made people more interested in it. Like I had a friend of mine come out from Baltimore. It was a dude that served with me in my last unit, and he came out with his wife, and he came to like 2 of my open mics, and he like the only crowd in the fucking place was him and his wife, and they were just sitting there chilling, and he came up to me afterwards, and he was like, "Dude, I love the fact that thank you for letting me know so I could watch the workout, because that's really what an open mic is. It's a workout." And he's like, I'm so interested in the process.
Right.
And I know this is a vital part of it. So he was appreciative of getting to come and see it. And he goes, the fact that I knew you and fucking, it was good. It was great,
Right.
So, and I pulled out the bangers for him. So like he got a little bit of show, and then he ended up going to my show I think it was the weekend. I had a show in Austin on 6th Street. He ended up going up there and hitting that show too, so, and it was just, it was interesting because I talked to him after that show, and he was like, it was fun because like I heard that part of a bit at the open mic, and then I heard the rest of that bit because like you're obviously trying out parts of that joke, and it was cool to watch like the whole process.
All right, so I got a question. If the open mic is the workout, what do you, as an audience member, is it okay for me to like boo or jeer or like you suck
At an open mic?
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
But then how do you know if you're
Just don't laugh. We know.
Just don't laugh.
If you don't laugh, we know.
I'm not saying I would do that, but I'm just saying like there's people that like,
Well,
oh, you suck, man. Like
it also depends on the comic, man. Like
it depends how bad they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I think the normal rule is
because I've only felt like saying it like once.
like
or twice.
don't.
I think I was there with you.
Yeah, I was there, and you weren't wrong. It was like I think the normal is it's like don't heckle the comedian unless they interact with you.
Gotcha.
Like if they interact with you and you fucking shoot it back at them,
Yeah.
game on.
Yeah.
It's game on, right? Like that's why. But there's.
But
also,
I'm not saying heckle, but like if you give them the sigh, like
dude, next
Yeah,
Tuesday
yeah.
you should go to the heckle mic. You should go to the heckle mic.
okay.
There's a heckle mic here in San Antonio. It's at Woodlawn Comedy Theater on Tuesday nights. You can get the tickets at woodlawncomedy.com. They're free. It's in their speakeasy upstairs. There's a full bar.
Yeah.
And it's just a very small room. It's probably the size of fucking 2 of these conference rooms. Sorry, podcast studios. It's literally there to get heckled. Like you walk up and people just start fucking shitting on you. But it's working out a different muscle. Like
Right.
it's like now you got to fucking bam, 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 bam. And you can see who the dudes who have the chops and who the dudes who can't handle
Yeah.
it are real fucking quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
We were supposed to go to that one with Nick with Warfighter Scuba.
yeah. Which would have been fun.
And we were gonna,
It would have been a blast.
It was me, Nick, and Omar.
I murdered that night too, dude. I fucking crushed. Like there's this old lady that goes to that one all the time. She's like 85 or 80.
Yeah.
She's 88 years old.
As a comedian or as a?
She's an audience member.
Okay.
She likes to tell people she's the oldest comedy fan in San Antonio. That's
Okay.
what she likes to say. And she's a sweetheart old lady, and she tries to bring props and tries to like get involved and stuff. And I just ended up asking her about her fucking STD from the silent film era and shit like that. Like, because she tried to come at me, and I was just like, don't you I'll break your fucking hip, sweetheart, in the best way possible. And all this, started fucking with it, and like, so it's fun. And you can see the comics. I think I have a bit of an advantage from the Marines,
Yeah.
and also being an East Coast guy.
Yeah.
Like I think that, and a bartender forever and all
Right.
that, like it gives me a bit of an advantage.
It's like a lot of those guys
the
like
younger dudes.
like they are thinking of comebacks and like using it as a Rolodex.
Yeah.
Where like some people it just comes natural.
Yeah.
Like
Talking shit's a skill,
You
baby.
know what I mean?
That's wittiness, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're just on your toes with it and you don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, but I completely understand the fact though that you do have to do some due diligence. You do have to have a Rolodex.
Sure.
It's like I met a couple guys that were trying to get into music years and years ago.
Okay.
They ended up going the producing side of it, and they're actually pretty successful now. But back in the day,
Do they book comedians?
no, they stick with a bunch of local stuff. They found their little niche and they're doing really well.
Yeah.
But back in the day, they didn't have like their little group that they were going to try to do. They were just going after anything and everything.
Yeah.
And they had a studio set up and whatnot. This is out in Arizona, and they'd have like up and coming rappers, right? And so like I got a little bit of the veil lifted on that kind of, but like they write like a writer, like a comedian, like anything else.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they have all these little notes, and it's not because it's like one day I'm going to put all this together and it's going to be a song. And it's like, if I ever have to rap battle somebody, these are things that rhyme.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay.
I got uninvited. I got uninvited from a roast battle recently.
Yeah.
And they were like, Mikey, that's not fair. And I was like, fuck you, man.
What do you mean?
Like, that's so fucking bullshit. Like,
It's a roast.
yeah, dude. Like, it was a roast battle, and I knew that I saw the lineup, and I had fucking shit on lock for every one of them, right? And I was just like, all right, let's go. And they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to cut you off this one. And I was like, oh, what
That's
the fuck,
no
dude?
fun.
No fun at all, man. Because they knew. Well, they were like, if you show up, we're gonna hand you the check. It was
Okay.
a contest, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Then maybe pick better people next time.
Yeah, dude, get funnier motherfuckers. You know, I don't know, dude. Like, but it was like, and I'm by no means, and I'm not even close to the fucking funniest guy around,
Yeah.
right? Like, there are dudes who are so much fucking better at this shit than me. Even local guys that are just amazing. But when it comes to talking shit, I've had way more practice. I've had way,
Right?
like, fuck. Look what we do every week for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I've had way more practice, just
Like-
coming off the cuff and hitting.
I feel like in regards to like that specific style, that's like, okay, give me like 3 or 4 drinks and give me a mic, put me on stage.
Oh, I take a shot before I go up.
You know what I
Every
mean?
time.
Like I need a little just to get primed, to get right in that, just to get in a shit talking mode.
That's a good point. There is like pre-game rituals too.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody does their own thing.
So what do you do that's weird?
I take a shot. And I'll walk outside and just be alone and run through my set. I do pretty bad.
Yeah.
Mine's
I
not
thought
that
you were going to
crazy.
say you go outside and just chuck the shot glass at the nearest vehicle. Or something.
Yeah, right.
Well, my buddy Jack, like he goes out and Jack's autistic as fuck, but he goes out and he'll just go for he'll be like, what number am I? Oh, I'm 16. So I got some time. Cool. He'll just go for a walk and he'll yell his set out. So if you ever see like a crackhead kid walking around San Antonio fucking yelling, it might just be Jack practicing the set. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but it works. The kid's fucking hilarious. He's a banger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that gets all of his wiggles out, right? Like, there's other dudes who they get nervous. You could tell they laugh at their own jokes on stage and stuff and things like that. Well, how do you make that work for you? Make a joke where that's part of the joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, and then now they have their formula, you know, like, and it's like, okay. And a big thing for me is like, I think of jokes. I'm like, what's the point? What point am I trying to make?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's the end all be all? If you're familiar with project management, you ever heard of an A3? Like an A3 form in project management? It's like all about your line one. That's your number one fucking goal. What's the point? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
All this shit. This is the point.
Right.
Right. And that's kind of like my ritual, I guess. Like I look at my jokes and I go, okay, what point am I trying to drive?
Right.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Like,
Do you ever-
whether they laugh at you or with you or
Laugh's a
at
laugh, bitch.
yeah, but I mean, trying to figure out the point. You know, you want them to.
Well, it depends on the joke.
Have you ever like forgot a joke, like mid joke?
All the time.
Yeah.
I got high as shit one time before I went up. I forgot I was on stage. Middle of my fucking set. I was like, shit. It just started and I was like, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, that. And I just gotta keep going. Like, yeah, but yeah, it has happened. That's why I don't get shit faced or drink or smoke and shit before I go up. Yeah. Yeah. Because that happens.
Right.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like if you go up there and just like, that shit's embarrassing. So it's like, ugh. But I don't know, man. I also last week I hosted a show called Poke the Bear, which is so much fucking fun. And it's basically the crowd roast you, but anonymously. They write like you hand out note cards and they write like shit talk. I got called the final vet bro boss of San Antonio. And I was like, yeah, all right. I folded. I kept it. And I'm going to turn that into a joke eventually.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that. Like, And we can even use big name guys like Bill Burr has one that he got from Pete Holmes. And I know he got it. It's his abortion joke. And he used it in his Red Rock special because they talked about it on an episode of Pete Holmes' fucking TV show Crashing. And Bill asked him, can I use that? And he was like, yeah. And he gave it to him. And it's the one where it's like, well, he's talking about abortion. And he's like, that's like if I put my birthday cake in and then you fucking 20 minutes later, you pull it out and threw it across the floor. And it's like, it wasn't a cake. And it's like, well, it was going to be. Right. If you didn't do what you just did, it would have been. Like, that's from Pete Holmes. That's a Pete Holmes' joke, but Bill Burr got it from him. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, so that shit, it happens at all levels. Yeah. It's real interesting, dude. That's a great bit. It's so good. If you hadn't did what you just did, that's why he's like, look, he's like, I believe that you have the right to choose. But I also believe that you're still killing a baby.
like you chose to end that cake.
Yeah. We just have a more fuck them kids mentality these days, I think, man.
So I know comedy is a big thing in the US. Is it a big thing internationally? Like I get there's like stadium tours for like the big name guys that like, well, I don't even know anymore, but it used to be like if you had an HBO special, you also like toured the world.
Sure.
Putting on shows.
For sure.
Is it still that way? And how hard is it in other countries? Do you, if you even have any knowledge on it?
So I know a little bit about it. There's a documentary, and the documentary is called "You Need to Kill." And Tom Segura's in it. It's about doing a tour in Asia, and it's like three.
I didn't know Tom Segura was that pro-military.
Yeah, right? it's like three comedians that fucking go over there and they go to like Hong Kong to Singapore to all these different spots, and you kind of get a glimpse of their scene and how it's ran. It's real similar. It's real similar. I would think that the language barrier would be the biggest problem.
See, I picture like an Asian comedy club, and it's a whole bunch of businessmen in suits smoking cigarettes.
Yeah,
and like hysterically laughing at things they have no idea, they can't understand.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, I wonder if there's a comedy club in Nicaragua. Like, that'd be kind of funny.
I mean, I'm sure
we've always talked about doing
in Esteli. There's probably one
karaoke. No, there's not.
Really?
Yep. Guarantee you there's not.
No.
Nope. We always talked about doing karaoke.
Okay.
But we blindly pick a Spanish song. And then we do it in Spanish.
That's hilarious. That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
I have
It'd be so bad.
I have a joke about
I can't even read it fast.
I know, right?
I have a joke about being a Santa. Like part of the bit is about being like Santa Claus. And I learned how to say my punchline in Spanish. So when I'm on the South Side, I can fucking and I throw it out there. They're like, and motherfuckers are like, wait, what? And I was like, oh. And then I go into Soy de los Estados Unidos, bitch. Like, yeah. I know a thing or two, bit. I'm well traveled. And they're all like, what the hell? It's also funny. I like this day and age with the immigration and ICE and everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm the son of an immigrant. Like, I talk shit. And they're like, you can't. I'm like, the fuck I can't. And I'm like, I got the same card you got, bitch.
Yeah.
Immigrants on the East Coast look like me.
Right.
We work docks, not fields. That's the only difference.
Both sides of my family, my mom's side and my dad's side, both immigrated to this country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my grandparents. It wasn't even that far removed for me.
I was going to say that everybody can say that, but for you.
But yeah, it's just a little bit closer. And you too.
Yeah. My dad and my my dad on my mom on my dad's side and my mom's dad.
Yeah.
And my mom's parents. Both.
Yep.
Yeah.
So your grandparents.
Yeah. That's what they're called. Yeah. Those things. I don't know. I haven't had them in so fucking long.
Right?
I forget.
Like, see, I feel like I feel special, but yet not. Like at one point I had 4 sets of grandparents. Now I don't have any.
Yeah. But at least you got to have that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's cool. That's awesome.
I'm trying to think on my side of the family, like I'm probably like 5 or 6 generations
in.
Since.
Yeah.
Well, by the time they made their way to Nebraska, I think.
No, I think they were like set for the West Coast and just happened to be like,
yeah, they were like the German.
Okay, we're tired. Yeah. We're just gonna stay hang out here.
They were on the Oregon Trail. They got to Independence, and they were like, "Let's do this." And they got like halfway through there. And
they
like,
they looked on a map and they were like, "Okay,
hey, Lewis and Clark just dropped this new map.
East to west and north and south. We are dead center. This works."
Yeah.
It's the same amount of time to go anywhere.
But no, literally in Nebraska is there's a dead center point in the United States.
Yeah.
And it's in Nebraska.
Yeah. Well, that's always my complaint when people are like, why don't you come out here? Why don't you come? And I'm like, dude, San Antonio, we're in the middle of the fucking states.
It's 8 hours anywhere. Just get out of Texas.
like we're in the middle, dog. Like, fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. What else you got for me, guys? Let's do this rabbit hole.
Yeah. Let's see. I had some questions that I wanted to ask you. I got most of them knocked out.
I got one.
Yeah.
If y'all need some time. So I know you've obviously done like the stand-up sets, but you've done some stuff that isn't like just stand-up comedy. How's that kind of going from like a room where people are there to see stand-up comedy to like emceeing, hosting, and just throwing some comedy out there? How's that kind of contrast?
You can tell when a crowd is there for comedy and when they're not.
So like you kind of have to work a little harder.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you have to tailor it. You know what I mean? And like I said, I think I mentioned earlier, like you can get it wrong. You know what I mean? Like I did a set one time. I looked out in the crowd. I saw a bunch of couples, and I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna do like mom and dad jokes and stuff and things like that. Talk about my kids and things." Not fucking one of them were fucking together. Not one of them. They were all platonic fucking buddies, man. And I was like, just a bunch of fucking sluts and heathens in this bitch. So I just went. So I leaned into that. You know what I mean? Because I started trying to act, and I was like, "What about this? What about this?" And none of them knew, and I was like, "You guys are just all fucking skanky." So I just switched my routine real quick, right?
Yeah.
And started doing it that way. So, but yeah, so it's very fluid.
Well, at least it's not like music, right? Like the live band. There are some people like me. A lot of times they go to a bar. I am not there for the live music. I'm there to talk to my friends.
Yeah.
I don't.
It
feel
just
like,
so happened that band's playing.
Yeah.
And they're 10 fucking times too loud.
Yeah. So I don't feel like I would ever go to a comedy club and just totally
hang out.
blow off the comedians and
Yeah.
be like, oh,
Like you're kind of there for it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like a lot of there's only 2 comedy clubs here, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of other places, like the Elbow Room Karaoke Lounge. Well, it's just a fucking bar with a stage.
Okay.
The fucking
But
the
so have you ever
different,
been
though.
have you ever been in a crowd like that then where they're literally not there for comedy? They're
Yes.
just there for a bar?
yes.
How
Matter
does,
of fact,
how does that go?
matter of fact, it was a crowd full of African American people, and it was me on stage, and I actually killed. I fucking won them all back.
Nice.
And the one of the biggest fucking compliments you can get as a comedian is from when another comedian gives you one.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Fucking love that bit," or "Fucking dude, that's fucking great," or "Man, you fucking won them."
Yeah.
Shit like that. And the first time I really got a fucking dude, you fucking won them back. I was like 3rd or 4th in a set in a order, and it was at a bar on the north side. It was like Stone Oak area.
Yeah.
And we had 20 minutes. It was the first time I did 20 minutes.
Wow.
And it was just like, shit, I don't even know if I have 20 minutes. But I went up there and fucking gave it a go and fucking murdered. And it was only because I was able to read that crowd.
Yeah.
Because they were not there for comedy. It was like a hookah lounge thing. They were all there chilling, hanging out, talking, drinking. Everybody was having fun. And then there's like just some moron on the stage talking.
Right.
And nobody's paying attention to him. So I had to like get their attention, keep their attention,
Yeah.
which is a big thing when you come to like emceeing. It's very big. It's get their attention, keep them interested, keep them going, and then get them ready for the next guy and have them. So you want to give the next guy the best possible crowd you can, especially as like a feature or as a setup or as an opener.
Yeah.
Like there's that. The problem is, again, there's some of those unwritten rules. Like the opener doesn't talk to the crowd. You don't do crowd work as an opener. Do your fucking jokes and fuck off. You know what I mean? The crowd work is for the headliner.
Okay.
So if the headliner is the only one that's supposed to talk to the crowd, that's why I often don't do crowd work unless I'm headlining.
Gotcha.
No, it's just it's weird little rules, man. Like, and they pop up. I feel like I learn something new every week, man. It's just like weird etiquette and weird nuances that are just just shit that you just wouldn't think of.
Yeah.
Just on your average day. But
it's
a grind, man.
You kind of answered a little bit, but that was another one of my questions is crowd work. Is that almost like a completely different arm of comedy? Like, I know you said done some of the roast stuff, so that's kind of like off the top, but essentially just looking at someone that you haven't seen until you got on stage and kind of like mixing it up. Is that so different? And how have you if you've worked that? I know you said
the problem is you have comedians like Matt Rife who have gotten famous on the internet posting crowd work.
Akash Singh. He's dangerous. That dude.
A lot of them are fucking great.
Absolutely.
Jeff Kazuri.
Ooh, I don't recognize that name. Jeff.
Fucking great
Yeah.
fucking crowd work. There's a lot of them that are really, really good at crowd work. And that's what they post because they're not posting their jokes. They're posting crowd work, right? And because crowd work's fucking a throwaway, you can post that. And you're not fucking giving away any of your material, right?
Right.
So the problem is that everybody got famous doing crowd work. And now people will come to shows expecting to be part of the show. And it's like, no. You don't do that. Like, you don't do that. So like now open mic hosts and people and just hosts of shows have to be like, listen, you have to like kind of tell the audience, don't talk to the comedian unless they talk to you. Yeah. You know, all that stuff. Like,
I listened to Matt Rife was on a podcast, and he was saying that in the beginning of his show, they literally, because he has like a big ass screen. It literally says like, we will be doing a crowd work section. We will tell you when it starts. Until then, do not like talk to the person on stage. Essentially, yeah.
and he had to do that because he got fucking super famous doing crowd work.
Yeah.
You know,
as a comedian, is there like, does Matt Rife practice for crowd work, or is it just completely off the cuff? I would imagine
Matt's an off the cuff guy,
but I mean, is there any way to prepare for crowd work?
Become a battle rapper.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Like writing down your one-line jokes. And so it's not because you're like trying to figure out, it's just you're keeping them fresh in your memory to pull from it.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're doing crowd work, are you looking for the one person that will maybe possibly fit a joke you have prepared for that? Or are you just winging it?
Well, hopefully you have enough of a repertoire built.
Yeah.
That like, hey, this guy's got a beard joke.
Yeah. You're looking for that one thing that's going to trigger.
You got gray hair joke.
Yeah.
Fucking, you're skinny, bam.
Like I'm going to find a doctor married to a retard.
Well, if
right,
if you listen to a lot and not just like the little clips they pull and post, if you listen to like the whole section of like the crowd work that he does, you'll see a lot of common questions that are being asked.
What do you do for a living?
Yeah. Are you guys together?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just leading in. Okay, if they say yes, then I have all of these I can run with.
If they say no,
I got.
Bam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you kind of gauging that through your, like, if there's one guy who's laughing real hard at all your jokes, you're like, all right, when I do crowd work, I'm going to him because he's going to give me good energy back. Which
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes.
So you're like semi kind of screening the crowd before you do the crowd work set.
In some sets you can do that. It depends on the venue.
I would almost do it the opposite.
Like sometimes you can't see. I like to fuck with the guy who's not laughing.
Well, I would be afraid that the guy who's overly involved will be like, will ruin it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe. It really just, it's just like any other interaction though.
Yeah.
You know,
Do comedians plant people? Like, do they put a dude in the crowd that they can work?
I know that some have. I don't think that happens on the norm.
I would
I've not
consider
seen
that.
it.
I would consider that like a dirty move.
It's cheating.
Yeah.
It's cheating.
Yeah.
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 It's cheating for sure.
I feel like maybe they learned that lesson from magicians because so many magicians have gotten caught with the person comes out and they're like, no, they paid me like $200 to sit in here and say, yeah, my favorite color's blue and all that shit. Like,
yeah.
I feel like maybe they learned that lesson.
Or hypnotist, maybe.
That too, yeah.
I've always been skeptical. I've always almost volunteered so many times because I don't believe it.
So I got pulled on stage for a fucking mentalist bit the other day. I was doing the open mic at Woodlawn and I was on deck. So I'm standing by the stage and the guy just called me up and was like, can you come up and do that? And sure, this motherfucker, he got me.
Really?
It was a good fucking joke. It was a good joke and he like asked the crowd, different crowd, like their favorite animal, name this, name that. And then he was like, can you unlock this little box? And I unlocked the box and there was a note card. He's like, I wrote this note card earlier. He's like, take it out and read it. And I read it and sure as fuck, he nailed it. And I was just like, fuck you, dude. I don't know when you did it, but he did it. but yeah, he got me on it because I'm also a skeptic.
Right.
You know, yeah.
The mentalist stuff, it really intrigues me.
Yeah.
To do it good, you have to be so fucking. You have to be like 6 steps ahead of everything, your entire environment.
Yeah.
Like
That shit's impressive.
it really is.
Yeah, it's impressive.
You know, the way I've seen some people explain it is just how they can understand the person's thought process,
It's
right?
learning patterns.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you were good at that, to apply that in regular life, like I think you would be a very successful individual. Like, let's go to this huge business
You know,
meeting, and
some of the
You could
most
probably run for president a couple times and win
Yeah.
if you're really good at that stuff.
some of the most talented people on this planet are criminals. And if they used their knowledge, their capabilities for good,
right.
they'd be some of the most successful, amazing, productive people in the world.
It just depends on how you measure.
But instead, half of them are in prison.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
depends on how you measure success.
Yeah.
Like, that guy was a successful criminal.
Well, you got to think, you look at, like, we spend a lot of time in Central America. You look at the people down there and look how the ingenuity,
Yeah.
the creativity that they have.
When you and I
And
were in Roatan and looked at the power lines, the power grids and shit.
But
where
it's
like,
everything.
holy fuck.
It's, they're like, okay, I have a problem and X needs to get done.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll do this. It'll get done. You know what I mean? There's no like, oh, hold on, let me go learn how to do this the right way.
Yeah.
You know,
There
It's,
used to be
it's like a bunch of MacGyvers.
there,
walking
there
around.
used to be a term that we could use. We can't use that term anymore.
MacGyver.
it's
MacGyver.
MacGyvered.
It's jerry rigged, man. Just jerry rigging. I think that one's fine.
I think so.
That term came from German. From like, we used to call them Jerry.
Yeah.
Back in like World War I, World War II, because they were like fucking piecemealing bullshit together, and they're like, oh, they jerry rigged that one.
Right.
And that's where the term jerry rigged came from.
Where-
I thought you were saying the other way of saying that
Oh,
came
no.
from the
No.
Germans. I was like, I am all ears.
Well,
What-
no, the first term was already a term, and then when Americans got there, it's like, well, they're not doing that, they're doing this, and that's what.
Where
it
did the
is.
term Jerry Can come from then?
I don't know.
That's a weird one to me.
It's a good question, producer. If only had
He-
somebody with a fucking Google machine in front of him. John's looking it up. John's got it. He's curious.
Here we go.
Put it up.
World War II, the slang term Jerry used by Allied soldiers to refer to as Germans. Okay, but so the can has German origins. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense.
now look up Jerry Rig. Might want to pull that one off the.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So there's. Okay, no, yeah. So there's jury rigging, Gury,
Well,
That's different.
That's different.
but it's not with a jury you think of. It's a sailing term.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's maritime transport and sailing. Jury rigging
You should know that shit.
is making temporary makeshift running repairs with only the tools and materials on board.
It's okay. So that means the same thing, though.
Yeah.
Also, except not necessarily always applied to sailing.
Huh.
Yeah, MacGyvering.
Yep.
MacGyvering.
Yeah, we got way off topic.
I need to light this. I need a paperclip, some no-slip shoes, and the Simon game from the 80s. Let's go. Shit like that. Like, yeah, it's jerry rigging.
So Kill Tony.
Okay,
I want to touch on that for a second.
sure.
The main thing that I want to touch on is kind of the behind the scenes part of it, right?
Okay.
So if anybody's in comedy, they've hopefully they've at least heard of Kill Tony.
That's the number 3 podcast in the world.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like a stepping stone, like a gateway for up and coming comics.
This for a lot of them.
To get more exposure for what they're doing.
Well, look at our buddy Jason Vest.
Yeah,
That happened to him
Yeah.
because we had him on like what
Right before.
like a week before he went up. Like he got called.
See, I like to blame his newfound popularity on our show,
100%.
and that's why they picked him on.
You know what? He actually would agree with that.
But that leads me into absolutely what I wanted to ask is, what's the process
For Kill Tony?
for getting on to Kill Tony?
Okay.
Because I know that you've
I know that one. I know that process.
You've been
really well.
trying.
Yeah. I got a stack of those fucking wristbands at home, and every one of them just represents 6 hours of my life that I never get back. Because that's part of it, right? No, so basically, Kill Tony, how they have it set up is they're obviously at the Comedy Mothership on 6th Street in Austin, owned by Joe Rogan. That's where it is. Next door to that is a bar called Shakespeare's. Well, next door to that is a pizza place. And then there's Shakespeare's. And at Shakespeare's, which is also does a lot of comedy venue stuff. I've performed there a few times and whatnot. It's a great bar. It's like a multi-level bar. Basically, they set up a table and you go up there and you register. And everybody gets in line. Registration opens up at a certain time. You walk up. If you've never signed up before, you go in one line. And if you have signed up before, you go in another.
Okay.
Because you're in the system. You walk up, you give them your ID, you fucking fill out a waiver. You have to fill out a release because it is, if you get called,
Right.
you're going to be, broadcasted. So you have to sign the release and all that stuff. They want your social media handle. They want your Instagram, your whatever the fuck, all that. And then they give you a wristband. And then you sit there and wait. You don't leave. You sit there for the next 4 hours or however long it takes. And then when the show starts, usually around 8:30, 9 o'clock, it'll start. They start calling people. Some dude will come on a fucking speaker and just go, John Simon, you're on Kill Tony. And everybody's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Nah. The cool thing is everybody's like super stoked for the guy who's just got called, right?
Nice.
Like they fucking love that, And then that guy goes, they take him out the back door, take him in the back door. They take all your shit out of your pockets. You put your phone in a Faraday bag, all that stuff. And then you go up, do your minute, do your interview, then fuck off. And then that's that. And that's the basic bit of Kill Tony. Yeah. Yeah. But for the most part, it's a lot of sitting around waiting.
So how many people are there on an average night?
Fucking 200 to 300 probably.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That are just hoping to get drawn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you see people who have been up before, and you see there's some well-known names that show through. And
Yeah.
you get to interact with some of those guys and stuff. And because I'm friends with Jason, a lot of people approach him.
Yeah.
When the mime went up, I gave the mime a ride that night.
Yeah.
And who bombed fucking terribly. Like, I thought he was going to kill himself. We all did. we were like, fuck. We didn't see him for a couple weeks after that. We were like, he might be dead, dude. We were like, oh shit. Like, he did. He's not. He's good. Actually, he's getting better. I hosted the other night and he came up and he did a good job. But yeah, dude, fucking, it's a lotto.
Yeah.
It's a lottery, and a lot of those, and like before that, they have an open mic at Mothership you can sign up for too.
Yeah.
So I signed up for that one.
Is that a similar process where they just pick a random name or
it's a random name?
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, they kind of, it's a random name, but they know, they look at the list and they go, yep.
Yeah.
Like I think there's like 8 spots out of the 20 that they're like, yep, we're putting in dudes that they know can
Right.
perform
You
to
have
keep
to.
because you have to keep the crowd going.
Yeah.
Because if you have a bunch of amateurs come up, it's like, hell. And the interesting thing about Kill Tony and what they started doing now, in the last 6 months or so, is they ask questions. If it's your first time coming, when you're in that line, they're like, have you ever done comedy before? If the answer is no, fuck off.
Yeah.
There are people who sleep in their cars for open mics here.
Good.
Like you can't,
Yeah.
you're not going to, this is
I was
your
wondering if they
opportunity.
were ever going to do something like
They
that.
had to, man.
Yeah.
Because it's not your opportunity to get your 15 minutes and fucking.
Well, you're going to lose so much of these guys have been grinding for years, and they're like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not going to sit here when there's 400 people and half these fuckers don't even know what they're doing.
A lot of them do that anyways. A lot of it. I haven't gone to Kill Tony in a month.
Yeah.
I haven't gone.
Well, you get burned out. You're like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done trying to get on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like I could actually be fucking working out somewhere
Yeah.
and doing something or doing something else with my time.
right.
So it is frustrating. I think it's coming back next week. I'll probably go.
Yeah.
But just because it's been a while. But
We'll see how this weekend goes.
we'll see how this weekend goes.
You might not. You might get back and you'd be like, fuck comedy, man.
Yeah. Who knows?
What do you got this weekend?
Ayahuasca.
Oh, right.
I haven't eaten in 41 hours and 22 minutes.
We've kept it pretty tame. We didn't want to make you mad.
No. The funny thing is interacting with people people that I give a shit about, like you guys, my kids, my wife, been fine.
Yeah.
It's the second I go out in public.
Like,
And I got to go to Walmart after this. This is going to be a good time.
Hey, Justin, can we strap a GoPro and ring him up with a mic?
Give me a lav on me.
I don't know if we want to document what
We're gonna-
Mikey's about
we
to
need
do.
We need a helmet-mounted 360 cam.
That's called evidence,
mic.
homie. It's called evidence. Can't have that.
It's called monetized on YouTube, bitch.
Real fucking quick. Real quick. Ugh. No, but like, yeah, they do ask, like, they're like, have you ever done comedy? When was the last time you did comedy?
Okay.
Do you have a minute prepared? You know, when was the last open mic you did? Things like that.
Yeah.
You know, to make sure that there is
Right.
some semblance of, oh yeah, I do comedy all the time, or how long you been doing comedy? Oh, I've been doing it like 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
You
still
got a minute?
It's still amazing how many people go on Kill Tony and suck though. But I enjoy that as well.
Sometimes the bombs are just as fun because it's more about the interview.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the interview is more important. And honestly, a lot of guys they'll get their big joke books off their interview, and maybe not even their bits.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Jason obviously had a good set, but a lot of his was his interview.
His
Oh, his-
a lot of his is shocking.
His interview was just as funny as his set though. Like,
Yeah.
he's
And-
just that way.
And he is just that way. Like, yeah, he's a good dude.
I don't know about a good dude. He's
An interesting fellow.
Governale, when Governale did it, you know, he did okay. He didn't have a great set on Kill Tony, but his interview was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and they started talking about Naked and Afraid and all that and stuff. And he was like, yeah, you know, he talked about the Marine Corps and all that shit. And they were like, oh, okay. You know, like, yeah. I mean, like, so it really all depends on, like, that's the part that I'm not worried about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worried about the interview portion. Oh, I'm going to be on a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. You know, like, it's fine. It's really the minute. And it's funny, man. Like, another reason I didn't go the last couple times I could have is I doubted my minute.
Yeah.
I had this minute planned forever. I had this thing planned out. And now that as I'm growing up and getting better at comedy, I'm like,
I don't like that minute
it's like,
anymore.
it's not that, I got stronger shit than that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and if I want to go, I want to bring out my fucking banger.
Yeah.
Because
like that's not something you're just like, you know what, fuck it. If they call me, I'll just wing it.
Right.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta have
sure, dude.
Yeah.
Like, so now I have a new minute that I've been working.
Yeah.
That is stronger than my original minute. And that's the one that I'm like, when it comes down to it, it's like, boom, I know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
You know, and
you've been training for this your whole life. You're just gonna work the best minute you can.
dude, I should be better at this point. Fuck.
I have
A minute? That's time to cuddle. What the fuck?
I know, right?
when you're talking about like you have the minute and everything.
Yeah.
How is it usually like a set, like you take a month and you can get a minute out of it, or is it just kind of as things pop in your head or subjects arise? Like,
Well, at first I wrote 5-minute bits because that's how much time I would get on open mics.
Yeah.
So I would write like a bit that was like 5 minutes long.
mhm.
And when I wanted to do that, I was like, all right, I'm going to take my favorite parts of this 5 minutes and get a minute out of it. You know what I mean?
Just pull like the meat out of it.
The meat out of it. Yeah. And but the funny, the good setups, the good punches, you know, all that. Don't get me wrong, my original minute's still funny. I still say it sometimes. I still use it sometimes, but
You're only getting like one or two things out of a minute, right? Like,
yeah, that's gonna be my next question.
Like,
So like,
it depends on the kind of joke.
well, because like you could do a solid like one joke in a minute, good amount of story and build up, lead up, fucking nail it. But if it doesn't land, you just wasted everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or do you do like 5 smaller ones, 15, 20-second jokes, and you just try to fucking,
Depends
quick
on your
and dirty.
style, man.
Like,
my buddy Zach, he did Kill Tony. He did Kill Tony. He did not do well. He didn't do bad either, though. I mean, he just didn't get a joke book.
Yeah.
He didn't get the one that said you suck. So like it was the night where they did like 25 fucking people or whatever because they couldn't. Everybody kept bombing. Zach was like number 16 in that, right? And like didn't bomb, but like, you know, like one of my favorite jokes of his. He's a real quick setup punch guy, and his is, why are gay people so rude? Because they're all fucking assholes.
Yeah.
You know, and he just does shit like that, right? Where it's just like bam, 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 right? Like it's like, oh, I hate it when fat girls get their hair done. Oh, does this look good? Well, no, there's still 300 pounds under it. You know, like he says shit like that. Those are his jokes, right?
do you think the crowd gets fatigue throughout a show? Like say,
For sure.
say, but like there's multiple same jokes, or say like 3 of the 6 people just suck. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
is it very noticeable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it falls on the headliner. You know what I mean? It falls on the last guy. Like at a show, if you're doing an open mic, you kind of go in there with the mentality these guys are gonna there's gonna be a lot of dick eating going on, right? Like this is gonna, you know, like that's also a comic term. We call it eating dick instead of bombing. It was like how'd you do? Fucking ate dick. They're like, like, yeah. But it really all depends on the kind of jokes that you tell, I guess. But if you go to a show and you get, let's say it's a 4 comic lineup and the opener was meh and the fucking next guy was meh,
right,
and the last guy was meh or dog shit, and then it's like, well, now it's on the headliner to bring it all back. So that goes back to that, hey, you got to fucking read your crowd, fucking bring them back in. Good news is when you're a headliner, most of those people are there to see you anyways.
Right.
So they're excited to see you.
Yeah.
Some dudes will purposely put shittier comics before them to make themselves look better. Yeah. Oh, and sometimes it works the other way around. Like, again, I'll use Governale as a example. Another show that we were all 3 at when we went to Burbiz.
Yeah.
And Christina Mariani was his fucking feature.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
that's he even knew. He walked up to me. Us 3 were sitting there, and he walked up to me. He's like, "I'm fucked," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're fucking. This was
and
a bad idea."
And it was after she went. There was a break, and then he was coming up.
Yeah,
and it was in that break is when he said that. Yeah, and it was just like, "Good luck, man."
Yeah, dude.
like,
fuck, man. Like,
because she's good. Like that set was good.
Yeah,
and it was. I think that was like one of those jokes. I think was the first time she really said it. And then it became famous right after that, I think. Like, yeah.
Funny thing is I've done like shows with her and mics with her since then.
Yeah.
I've heard those jokes every fucking time. Like, she's still doing them.
Yeah.
You know, but they're still evolving. That's the fucking cool thing about a joke is you'll write a joke and then like you'll do it for a couple months and then like you'll put it away and you'll come back to it, you'll throw to it, and then you'll be like, oh, that's a better tag. And they're constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Like each joke you write is constantly evolving, man. Like I'll mention shit on our show and I'll get a tag for one of my jokes. Yeah. And I'll be like, all right. You know, like shit like that. Like it does happen.
Yeah.
Rich Dirk's texting me. The fuck does Big Dick Dirks want?
I have another question.
Yeah.
I listen to, like, most of the podcasts I listen to are all comedy podcasts. They're my favorite. Like, it's stand-up comedians, the whole 9.
Yeah, you and I are very similar in that. We always have, man. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's been a thing you and I have always fucking talked about.
Yeah, like it's one of those where, like, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, so much has been about like, oh, this in politics and this, and it's all shit stuff. But I love listening to comedy podcasts because it's just dude shoot the shit.
Yeah.
They always talk about how, like, Rogan talks about all the time that when he was coming up, it was very much this like famine mentality of like, I need to take away from that guy so I can be successful. And it's changed now in a lot of like the headliner, like the guys that are up there, Andrew Schultz, Joe Rogan, all those guys. The guys that are like kind of cutting their teeth, that are like the middle acts and stuff like that, is there still that camaraderie with all those guys? Or is it dudes looking out for each other, telling them good spots, the whole 9? Or is it a little bit like, if you're not at that headliner level, is it still some of that famine mentality?
I think the level I'm at now, which is like one step above a fucking open micer, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm not a new comic, but I'm not a fucking salt dog either, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting to see that now where like, it's like, hey man, fucking, I really want you for this show or fucking whatever. And right now I'm at the level where we're helping each other out, you know. In the beginning, super cutthroat. Everybody's out for their own, you know, because you're trying to figure out your fucking voice and all that. And then, but there is still some of that feast or famine type of mentality. It is still out there. There's also a fucking rampant problem with joke thieves. You know,
I guess when you're smaller and you're not like, your jokes aren't getting told on Netflix, they're getting told in this room.
Yeah,
it's way easier for someone to be like, yeah, I'm gonna snag that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. There was a dude at an open mic that was taking notes one time. We fucking caught him, and he was just taking notes, and we were like, the fuck. Turns out he was selling our jokes to dudes. He was selling dudes jokes from here to dudes in California.
Oh, wow. Oh, because it's a completely different market.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Because you go to a comedy club in San Francisco and you hear a fucking funny joke, you can come to Texas. That joke might have came from here. You don't know.
Wow.
You know
I never thought about that.
And it is a thing, man. It's a problem. Austin's fucking bad with that shit right now. Like, because there's so many comics. Yeah. Like with Rogan moving to Austin, everybody moved to Austin. Yeah. Like, that's like the mecca for comedy in America now. You know, it used to be New York, Boston, the LA. Yeah. It's fucking Austin, Texas now. Yeah. And there's so many, and there's a lot of fucking thievery going on, unfortunately. Good news is that motherfucking comics will call them out. That's not your fucking joke. Oh, I saw that on a meme. Fucking like you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
Like they'll like, and it is frustrating. The fucking internet works against you, right? Because like I'll write a banger of a joke, and then I'll see it in a meme like a week later, and I'm like, like now I can't use it. You know what I mean? Because now everybody's be like, that's a meme joke, and it's like, fuck.
So, I mean, do you look at it as like when that happens? Do you look at it like fuck that? Like I thought that was a good joke, but it was low hanging fruit.
Well, like I told you about one. I wrote a joke about one of my biggest fears is going to my wife's family or my wife's high school reunion because there's 100% chance that I'm not the only person who's fingered her there, right? And then like a week, like not even a week, like 4 days later, Barstool had a video of a girl who said the exact same thing. She's like her husband was dropping her off at her reunion, and she's like, "There's guys that fingered me in here," and she ran in, and I was like, fuck, man. Like, I just wrote that. And I remember I came to Justin. I was like, look at this shit, dude. I just wrote it and I time-stamped. like, it's like, fuck, man. Like,
is there kind of like an honor system? Like you wrote that joke. You wrote that joke a week later, and then it just so happened that this video got made and it got posted. And it just also happened that that one blew up and got seen by a bunch of people.
Sure.
Is it kind of like understood of like, well, no, I still wrote this before this got big, so I can still tell this joke? Or is it kind of like, you gotta take this one? Like,
I think you just gotta take that one.
Yeah.
And I say that because otherwise you look hack.
That's fair.
You look like a hack.
You gotta play it safe kind of on that one.
Yeah.
Just so there's no room for.
Well, especially when it comes to like smaller shows and stuff like the level I'm at, because my goal is to get booked higher.
Yeah.
Right. Is to come up. And
well, I'd hope so.
Yeah. Right. Like that's the goal. And if you're looking hack at this level, how hack are you going to look at that level?
Yeah.
You know,
more eyes get on you, the worse it gets.
Exactly. You know, and fuck, we know that just from the podcast world. Like we get scrutinized for, well, these fucking idiots put ice in their whiskey and shit like that, you know? And it's like, what, dude? Like, Jesus, man.
We got called hipsters. That was the funniest one.
So Jazz is an edgelord.
Yeah.
Jazz is kind of an edgelord.
Yeah.
How many people use AI?
It's funny you say that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing right now. I'm sure it is, but I don't think it's very big. But
we talked about it on the other show.
Oh,
I think you should do it.
We are.
Okay.
We talked about it again.
Yeah. Good.
There is going to be a comedy special that is going to be filmed at Battle Pub Games.
Yep.
Coming up. Produced by QLab Media.
Yep.
Right?
We'll go with that.
What's it called?
QLab Concepts.
Oh, right, yeah. They're
close
producing
enough.
it. They're producing it.
I wouldn't go too much detail though.
I'm not going to give you too much, but it's going to be fun, and it will be coming out. Yeah.
When are you guys? Do you have dates planned to film yet?
Not yet. Nope. We're just in concept phase right now. I've started working a little bit on the material.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting take on that.
I will be an extra if you need one.
All right. No, for sure. No, yeah. I definitely need you guys there. Like, yeah. So
yeah, I mean, you got to show an audience.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's gonna be so fucking dumb. It's gonna be so dumb. And then I'm gonna sneak in my own comedy special with it as well. So yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But as far as comedians that are using AI now, I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. It probably does.
Yeah.
You know, writer's block is very fucking real.
Oh yeah.
You know, and sometimes, you know, hey, I got a premise and I can't figure out how to make it funny.
I get it when I'm trying to think of titles for emails. You know, and like I can only imagine, be like, okay, now I got to write jokes.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I've used it for scripting for stuff where I'm like, like when we do a sale, I'm like, I've got the overall thing. Like this is the premise, and we're doing this sale, and I just plug that in. And if anything, it just gets your mind moving.
Yeah.
Like it gets the gears turning, and then you can make adjustments from there. So I could 100% see how beneficial that could be with joke writing. But
I'm just kind of like looking at jokes. Like sometimes I'll just write shit that I haven't even written the joke yet. Like I got called a DILF the other day.
Nice.
Right? Well, now I got to write a joke about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it happened, and it was like, Hey, all right. Yeah, like so like now it's like that's kind of where I'm, but it's like a lot of the times it's like, and if I can't write, like I can understand like if somebody couldn't write a joke about that, maybe they're like they throw their premise into AI or something.
Yeah.
Like I could see that.
Because you can what's kind of cool is you can essentially give it the premise. Like when I did it with
I think as long as you make it your own, it's
100%.
just as long as you make it your own. It's just like in college doing APA format, right? If you're gonna quote, fine, but it's better to paraphrase.
Well, it's I look at it as the same. Me plugging into ChatGPT to get like some ideas going is the exact same as us sitting in this room and brainstorming of being like, hey, we have this coming up. What's some ideas that we could do?
Yeah. Well,
and someone throws out something, someone else throws out something, you mesh it, you pull from something. Like it's the exact same thing.
It's not like you're paying a fucking room of writers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what AI is giving you is it's giving you a room of writers.
Exactly.
Essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. If AI is wrong, so is going to your writers that are writing jokes and stuff. And that's been a curtain that's been pulled back that I didn't realize is now that comics are talking about how like they'll write, like when all the roasts happen, when the Brady roast happened, all the comics that were up there were also giving jokes to the athletes that were up there and shit like that.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it's like, but there's even,
that's how Comedy Central roasts work.
Yeah.
Like there's only like 4 or 5 writers for that roast.
Mm-hmm.
And then the comics and the fucking.
That was how Tony Hinchcliffe got his start, right? Wasn't it writing for roast?
Yeah. He's been a roast comic forever.
But even the big names like Kevin Hart has writers and shit. And I guess when you think about it, it's like as busy as he is, like he can't work out every night at the local open mic and stuff. But at the same time, it kind of pulls the allure out of it a little bit. Like,
well, also like when you get to that level, like I think I told you the other day, like who was it? I thought it was Ari Matty. It wasn't Ari Matty. It was fuck.
Are you talking about the guy that like fucked up his joke and everybody still laughed?
No. He bumped me at my show.
Oh,
like because he.
No, it was Ari Matty because I said Ari Shafir and.
Yeah, I was wrong. It wasn't Ari Matty. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
It was that level.
Yeah,
another Kill Tony regular guy.
Big name.
But he showed up to my show and was like, "Hey, do you mind if I just do 10 minutes? Because I don't do open mics." Like, he's like, "I can't get into open mics because he's well known.
Yeah,
and like people will fucking hound him. You know what I mean?" And he's like, but right now you have an actual show and all this, So it was like Rick Dietz.
Oh,
did it. Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, for sure." And so like, yeah, he featured for me. That's what I like to tell people.
That's funny.
Thanks for the layup there, Rick. But yeah, because those guys, they don't get the same kind of practice that I get at my level. Mm-hmm. That's true. And whereas their writers could, so I'm sure once you level up, rules change, right? Like the rules that I'm talking about on this show, this is for my level. This is my lane, right? This isn't for the Kevin Harts, the Tom Segura's, the Burt Kreischers, right? Like this is for the Mikey Fahey's.
Yeah. Do you think their rules are different?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, man. We'll find out.
Well, there's some comedians too that like you give the same joke to 2 comedians, somebody's going to do it better. And there's some people at that level where it's all about the delivery, right? Like that's why they're at that level.
Sure.
I feel like it's funny too, because like if you gave Burt Kreischer and Tom Segura the exact same joke, Tom is very much more like dry. I'm just gonna say this funny thing and it's funny. Whereas Bert's gonna fucking punch it up and add all the extra shit to it, but that's just his comedy.
Yeah,
like
he's gonna be animated.
It's gonna be a 15-minute story, and he's gonna tell it for the next 10 years.
Yep, basically.
Got him to the dance.
When I was 21, I got involved with the Russian mafia.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
No, don't get me wrong. It's a great,
amazing story. Yeah. Well, that's why I love that. Like other comics have came at him, like at the Tom Brady roast.
Yeah.
When like they're like, "Oh, Bert, I'm such a fan of your joke."
Yeah.
Like that. Like it's so funny to me, dude. Like because it has become like a thing. Like because he did that. Fuck, man.
It's been like 15 years.
Yeah. He's been doing it since Van Wilder came out. Basically, like it's like, oh, damn. It's kind of wild that movie's based on him.
It is.
It is pretty weird.
Yeah.
It's like bitch, you don't look like Ryan Reynolds.
Casting is very
I like
important.
that's the only part of it.
Yeah, right. You know what though? To be fair, I say the same shit every time I see Mark Nutch from ODA 595. I'm like, you do not look like Chris Hemsworth, motherfucker. Like nothing. Like there's nothing about you. This is Chris Hemsworth to me. Fucking from 12 Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played Chris Hemsworth played him in the movie, and it's like you don't look like that. Get out of here. Fucking yeah. I think fuck, we've gone down that rabbit hole on our show plenty of times. Like,
right.
how many like who would play who in the movie and shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I'd be interesting to like go back and look at some of our old debates and see how much our opinions have changed over the last few years.
Yeah,
I bet you'd switched up a bit.
I know it has.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be upset if it didn't.
Yeah.
Well, that means we've never evolved. We've never learned.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
Like, yeah. As long as you can recognize and admit it, that
I think what would be funny to me is the strongest opinions may have changed the most.
yes, absolutely.
You know, to kind of bring both worlds together, I honestly think that one of the best settings for comedy would be cigar lounges. Honestly.
Oh, I bet cigar lounges would love them too. Some of them.
I think it would be a great spot for a comedy show.
I'm
right?
actually kind of working something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fucking A.
Maybe this year and later this year in Virginia.
Oh yeah, I talked. Gochin hit me up already. Yeah, I'm supposed to headline for him. I gave him my price list.
Yeah, we were talking about doing that and throwing together a little comedy night cigar event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of dudes. I kind of floated the idea to some people out of Maryland and Baltimore area, and they said they'd come down.
It's very like-minded people there. So I would like, I mean, just going there, doing events and talking with all the guys, like they either worked somewhere in DC,
Sure.
or prior military, law enforcement, or they worked in support of the military. Like this last time, one of the last guys that left, he used to, what does he do now? Oh, fuck. I wish I could remember what he does now because it's like underwater basket weaving or some shit. But he used to like be on the development team for all of like the munitions that the military uses.
Yeah.
And so like when Trump was doing his White House briefing right after they dropped the bombs, like he's giving us all the details and all the different, munitions that they could have used and what it does. And I remember back in the day, I worked on these and those and yeah.
He's like that lady Hazel I told you about. The bitch
Yeah.
Aberdeen that's like blown up everything.
Right,
It's like the most
right.
dangerous woman in the world. Same kind of thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would work out really well there.
Yeah. I mean, but I honestly think that a lot of like cigar lounges would like it would be a good venue for comedians.
We
You
did.
have tentative audience. They're
Yeah.
quiet for the most part. They're just hanging out. They're enjoying the show. They're not doing anything else. Just enjoying a cigar.
Right.
Why not, man?
The Underground in Fort Worth, they used to do a roast
Yep.
when they did their NFG event every year.
Yeah, they got scared when you guys said you were going to bring me.
They never even offered. it to us.
I think they're just like, okay, we'll just go with everyone else. Yeah, it's like it happened like 3 years in a row before they killed it.
Yeah, they brought it back last year,
But
but
it wasn't the same.
No, they don't use comedians.
The biggest thing that happened, one of the reasons, in my opinion, why they don't do it anymore is everybody collectively went hard in the paint towards one person. It was all deserved. None of it was.
If it's always at one person, it's usually well deserved.
And it wasn't like belittling,
but
it was a roast,
there were feelings.
and they were roasting him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you got a little.
And
little toasty.
I think he got butthurt,
Yeah,
and I think some words were said about it, because I haven't seen him since.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, like people who like I want to do a roast for my birthday. It's like, sure, like because we're gonna fucking pick you apart, right? Like, I think on my story right now, I'm doing one at the Blind Tiger in July, like July 18th, I think.
Are you doing a roast?
I'm doing it's a birthday party for a comic, and I think I posted about it yesterday. I think it's on the 18th. Yeah, July 18th at the Blind Tiger, which is in the basement of the Magic Time Machine here in San Antonio. It's another comedian's 30th birthday, and she asked me to come do some time and fuck with her. And it's like, all right, but just know that I'm fucking coming for you.
Yeah.
Like don't get mad. Like, people do. They get real butthurt. Like,
It's funny to see, like, because the Tom Brady roast happened, wildly successful. All the comics did great and everything. And
Sure.
Tom Brady's like, yeah, I would never do that again. I would never recommend it to anybody. And it's like, yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yeah,
You're
dude.
getting shit on by people that are really good at shitting on
Well,
people.
I mean, when you have a recent divorce,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have,
there's just fuel for the fire.
there's
Right.
a lot of,
He's been in the public eye since
Yeah.
he was,
Like,
25?
right.
Well,
And
like-
all the rumors that you've tried
Well,
to suppress over the years, now
Yeah.
now it's a topic of a roast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Donald Trump got roasted on Comedy Central.
Yep.
That was a really good one too.
Pam Anderson back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Those were the Greg Giraldo roasts. Those were so fucking good. My favorite thing that he ever told her is during the Pam Anderson roast, and it was a Greg Giraldo fucking bit, and he was like, she has the emotional drive of Terry Schiavo. Talking about her being an actress. And I fucking loved that so much, dude. Such a good joke. And, yeah, dude, there's fucking Bob Saget got roasted on there.
That's right, yeah.
Gilbert
Yeah.
Godfrey got roasted on there. There's a bunch of them that did it.
And there was like nobody was off limits.
Yeah. Well, that's the cool thing about comedy, man, is nothing should be off limits.
Yeah.
Right.
That's I got into it with another comedian a while back that had said something like, he was like, white comedians aren't allowed to make fun of black women. And I was like, I'm allowed to make fun of whoever the fuck I want.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're not going to stifle my art.
That was Andrew Schultz. He got hit hard after he made some joke. He was beefing with like Kendrick Lamar or something, and
Yeah.
a bunch of people were like, "Oh, he doesn't respect black women." And then he went on like all these black shows that were like talking shit, and he was just like, "No, I absolutely respect them, but it's comedy.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
like
I'm not, what I'm saying isn't serious.
yeah,
Right.
You need to assume, and this is just for the general fucking population out there, you need to assume that every single thing that comedian says while on stage is a joke.
yeah."
Yeah.
None of it's, you can't take
No.
any of it serious, which is why people who like, it's the same thing when Comedy Central tried to do the fucking comedy awards, the comedy show awards, and all the comedians just shit on it because they were like, if you take comedy serious, you're already depleting the purpose.
Right.
We can't have awards for this.
What's his name? He did Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
The perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where everybody tried to cancel him because of a joke he said. And he literally came out and he's like, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his friend that he made the joke about killed herself. And fucking, he had to like fucking actually say that
Yeah.
because you fucking assholes. Oh, he's transphobic. Or it's a joke, or it's a fucking joke.
Right.
Like, God, dude.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. PC and comedy they're
I don't-
very simpatico.
For a guy over here that just enjoys comedy, I love it when people take it too serious.
Yeah.
It amplifies the comedy for me.
Yeah. It makes it funnier
Right.
for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it makes it really funny for the comic too.
And when
Like,
somebody like in the crowd gets all pissed off and like walks out and then they address it, like, oh, that's my favorite.
I had a buddy of
My
mine.
fucking favorite.
I had a buddy of mine walk another comic. And then the host hit her up and was like, hey, what happened? I thought you were, because she was on the lineup.
Yeah.
And he's like, did you leave or is everything okay? And she's like, I don't participate in that kind of comedy. And he was like, go fuck yourself. the host unloaded on her. He's like, go fuck yourself, you fucking uppity cunt. He was like, how dare you fucking try to talk shit about other people's art
That's the
and all this. You should know better. You're a fucking comedian.
Right.
If you're a comedian and getting butthurt, stop being a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have thick skin is one thing. Nothing serious. Everything's a joke.
Right.
Yeah.
It's either all in or it's fucking not, man. Like, yeah. That's so weird to me. Yeah, that strikes a nerve, dude, when comics will try to like shit on other comics because it's not their brand of humor. It's
Yeah.
like, well, it's not for you.
Right.
It's for them. It's for you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, this has
Yeah.
probably gone on long enough.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah. Thanks for
Thank you. We answered a lot of questions that I had.
Good.
Um,
I'm
What's
probably wrong. Like, yeah.
what do you have coming up? Where are you next?
Well, let's see here. This weekend I'm doing drugs.
Yep.
Next week, if I'm still doing comedy, I will be at,
if I'm still doing
I will be weekly appearing at the Clover Club at 10 o'clock on Wednesday nights here in San Antonio. I'm one of the feature comedians there. Tuesdays, I'm at the Elbow Room at night. I'm also over at Woodlawn Comedy Lounge on Mondays if I'm not at Kill Tony. And then July 18th, I have the Blind Tiger. And August 3rd, let me make sure that date's correct before I give you bullshit. August 2nd, I am also booked. I'll be at the Artisan here in San Antonio doing a military show. Actually.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Sweet. So you got some stuff coming up.
I'm
So
busy.
If you're in the area and you want to go to any of those, go for it.
And if I do travel out, you guys can follow me at Hooligan Mikey on Instagram. I always put my dates up and stuff,
Nice.
and all that stuff. So yeah,
Sweet. Anything else you want to let everybody know?
3 little things, boys. I don't know how to do.
Wrong podcast.
Oh, wrong show. No, thanks for having me, fellas. I
Cool.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Scott, you got anything?
Keep smoking, everybody.
No.
Justin?
Until the 4th of July, our victory sale is still live. So any purchase of cigars gets you 1 free victory up until midnight of July 4th. But
July 1st.
you want to hit him with it, John?
The redacted.
So we got a redacted promo going on in July 1st.
If you buy 4, you get 1.
No.
No,
You're wrong.
was that last month? That was last month.
So for every 5 cigars you buy on the website, you get a free redacted cigar.
No, you buy 5, you get 1.
And the math works. So if you get 10, you get 2. 15, you get 3. Box, you get 4. On and on and on.
Okay.
We're also doing our free victory promo for the 4th of July. So any order that's placed for cigars on July 1st, you will get a free victory cigar per order of cigars. And then for every 5 cigars you get, you also get a free redacted cigar.
John, if I bought a 20 count box
Yep.
on July 1st, how many cigars
You
would
get
I
4 redacted. You get 20 cigars in that box. And then you get 4 free redacted cigars. And you get a free victory cigar.
Hot damn, that's a hell of a deal if you ask me.
Mhm. That's a hell of a deal. actually.
July 1st, right? So July 1st, if you're listening to this, on
Yeah.
July 1st, from midnight to 11:59 p.m., from 12:01 to 11:59 p.m.
Just on July 1st.
Just on July 1st, get your orders in.
Fucking A, dude.
That's the day.
And then
Good
also,
cigar day. Shit.
if you have purchased or if you're about to, on the 4th of July, all of us will be smoking victory cigars. And we
Yes.
want y'all to be joining us. Also, if you are, fucking snap a picture, throw it on social media,
Yep.
tag us. We want to see it. We want to see as many people as possible.
What hashtag are you guys going with? this
Just
year?
put it up as stories and tag Warfighter Tobacco in it,
Okay.
and then we'll share it.
We're gonna be sharing it. We want to show everybody else that
Yeah.
on the 4th of July, on Independence Day, you are smoking America's favorite fucking cigar.
Yeah,
so
Damn right.
That's all the house
Victory
cleaning
on the
for me.
best day, for the best victory.
There it is. There it is. I know I participated last year,
fuck yeah.
and I will be again this year.
I've
so.
done it every year since we had a victory cigar.
Fucking A, dude. Fucking A. Gotta love that one.
Yeah. If I
How
didn't
much you
lose my.
got? What you got?
That's all I got.
Man, a few words, everybody. Scott Jansen.
Yeah. So don't forget to go to warfightertobacco.com for all your smoky treat needs. July 1st, you're getting a shitload of free cigars.
That's awesome.
Check out Mikey's comedy shows coming up.
Please and thank you.
And we'll post all the upcoming events that we have. We are running up into a holiday. And I know we aren't doing any. There will be a Warfighter Tobacco event going on at Minutemen Cigars in Arizona over the July 4th weekend,
Very cool.
which is a great name for a shop, Minutemen Cigars. We have a Minutemen cigar. They carry all of them. They are also doing a 9-count sampler promo. So if you're in Arizona over the 4th weekend and you're up by Minutemen Cigars, definitely go check them out. Adams is going to be over there slinging shit. Really good cigar specials going on. Your chance to get a redacted cigar also.
Hell yeah.
So cool, guys.
If you haven't had that redacted yet, you are fucking up, bud.
July 1st.
That is an amazing cigar. So July 1st, get your orders in. That cigar is awesome. Big fan.
It's really good.
It's really good, man. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, until next week, enjoy the weekend, everybody. Celebrate responsibly. Hopefully everyone comes back with 10 fingers.
Hopefully.
And if you don't, put a picture up on social media.
Have a good story.
Don't forget to tag us.
Yep.
Yeah. We want the deets.
Yeah, I want to know how.
Yep.
I'm going to add you to my list of friends that are missing fingers.
We stand next to Jim.
Cool. We'll talk to you guys after the holidays. Bye, everybody.
Yep. Later.
Bye.